like to share with you the reflection of Mr. Alford. He's both a special educator and a participant of the Project ECHO program. Mr. Alford referred to the Project ECHO as Mwanga. Mwanga is a Swahili word that loosely translates to light or enlighten. He mentions that the program is light. Light for children with disabilities, light for educators of students with disabilities, and a bridge that connects students with disabilities to teachers. The history of meeting the support needs of students with neurodevelopmental disabilities hasn't been very long in Tanzania. It has only been a decade, or less than a decade, that using an IEP, Individualized Education Plan, was introduced for special educators in Tanzania. And only recently was autism spectrum disorder emphasized for special educators in their teacher trainings. One of the main challenges in meeting the needs of many students with neurodevelopmental disabilities is a lack of expertise and infrastructure that supports their right to education and employment, which has made it vital to have programs that are both sustainable and programs that encourage a global exchange of ideas and knowledge to improve student outcome. Project ECHO is one such program. Project ECHO stands for Extensions for Community Healthcare Outcomes. The program promotes the importance of moving and sharing knowledge without the necessary need to move people. Project ECHO globally, through research, has shown that it increases participants' ability to provide up-to-date interventions, and it reduces cost barriers that are usually associated with capacity building. For this reason, we use Project ECHO with a few adaptations to provide virtual training to 17 schools across 4 cities in Tanzania. The trainings range from the very basics, such as introduction of neurodevelopmental disabilities and the characteristics we may see within our classrooms, to more nuanced understanding of topics such as behavioral supports and evidence-based practices to best support students with disabilities. The trainings were done in collaboration with the Ohio State University Nisonger Center and their interdisciplinary team. I cannot emphasize that their support was invaluable, as many of these professionals, such as behavioral therapists, developmental behavioral pediatrics, speech-language pathologists, most of these professionals are rare and usually not even available within our country. I would like to invite Dr. Greta from Ohio State University Nisonger Center to share a little bit about how we did this project and some of our findings.
Thank you, Bijal, for that lovely introduction to our project. So we met twice a month for a total of 8 sessions on Zoom. Our sessions consisted of a didactic, case presentation, and group discussion with recommendations. We also added several recorded interviews with self-advocates who have neurodevelopmental disabilities and are enrolled in the post-secondary program at The Ohio State University. And so they were able to share their own experiences in school, their communities, and preparing and starting jobs. And while we did adhere to the ECHO model, we did make a few accommodations to allow for more accessibility. So this included pre-recorded didactics so that the teachers could watch them before the ECHO session and come up with a list of questions, which we answered at the start of each session. We also had English and Swahili translators available, live closed captioning, and a written transcript that we shared after each session. And then lastly, we did make the case form briefer to focus on the teacher's goals and also reflect their access to information. So for example, many teachers either didn't have access to the student's diagnosis or there wasn't a diagnosis. So the teachers were able to describe their observations and then share the students' strengths and challenges. After each session, we asked the teachers to complete a brief survey to assess the effectiveness of the ECHO. And what we found was after the didactics, teachers not only learned a lot, but they began using the strategies in their own classrooms and teaching those strategies to teachers who were not in the trainings. And one story that really demonstrates this success was from Miss Doris. She shared that before the ECHO project, they really only had two ways of communicating with students. That was through speaking and sign language. And unfortunately, they were still missing a lot of the students by it being so limited. So after the training, they learned several other ways of communicating, such as using pictures and communication devices, and understanding the function of the student's behavior so that behavior itself is communicating something. What we really connected to were the powerful words and stories from our participants like Miss Doris, and their enthusiasm and motivation to continue building this community of learning and exchanging ideas.
And I similarly come back to the power of words that Dr. Greter mentions, the story of Mr. Alford and his emphasis on light, mwanga. Because it is scarcity of knowledge and the lack of understanding on neurodevelopmental disabilities that has been one of the major challenges keeping our students with disabilities in the darkness. Education is the pathway to employment in a lot of our world. It is urgent to implement inclusive employment education strategies. Inclusive education can start breaking the cycle of a lot of the negative stereotype that exists for people with neurodevelopmental disabilities in Tanzania. And it can give a true chance and a true opportunity for students and youth with disabilities in Tanzania towards inclusive and competitive employment opportunities. Inclusive education truly starts with building capacity of our teachers and equipping us teachers for success towards meeting our student needs, as this project has shown. While awareness campaigns within Tanzania have created a lot of movement towards inclusion in school. So we're seeing a lot of students with disabilities now attending school, but it is what we are doing within our schools that truly needs to be reflected upon. This project has shown that building teachers' capacity directly influences our students' outcomes and progress. Project ECHO globally, as I'd said before, has been really successful. But to us in particular, it has been a sustainable approach towards capacity building. It is low cost, where we have access to not only the expertise, but their knowledge without the need of being in the same physical space. And most of all, it has been mutually beneficial.
Yes, it has certainly been mutually beneficial, as ECHO is an all teach, all learn model. So we learned a lot about the education system in Tanzania and how to tailor evidence-based interventions to their population and settings. With 61 students of various ages and abilities in a class, we needed to brainstorm how to provide effective yet feasible strategies for the teachers in the classroom.
And we similarly thank the Nisonger Center for not only knowing the importance of contextualizing the knowledge, but implementing this in every ECHO session. And while we reflect, we also plan and march forward. We are hoping that this project grows primarily in two ways. Firstly, continued support for the teachers that provides more nuanced skills. So we started with more broadness of introducing neurodevelopmental disabilities. But now we're hoping to maybe have more nuanced, deeper understanding on just one topic, such as an ECHO series just on communication or just on assessments. Secondly, we hope to reach universities that provide training for special educators and build capacity at the university levels in the field of neurodevelopmental disabilities. We would like to end the poster presentation with a smiling picture of the Dar es Salaam participants. This was the very first day of our ECHO training. We are hoping together to keep the light shining on. I'm Bijou Lal, a special educator from Tanzania.
And I am Dr. Greta Hilbrands, a psychology fellow from Ohio. And we look forward to seeing you all on May 11th, when you are encouraged to ask questions and share any feedback and suggestions for future projects. Thank you.
Thank you.